They say AI has a context window, a limit to how much it can hold before it starts forgetting. This channel has no such limit. Every session builds on the last, every concept connects to the next. Nothing gets left behind. Welcome to AI Playground. I'm Abhinav, and we are just getting started. Let me ask you something, and I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. Are you drowning in AI announcements? A new model on Monday, a new framework on Friday, and somehow the more you read, the more confused you get. Are you wondering which tools are actually worth your time and which ones are just beautifully marketed nonsense? Are you looking for free and low cost options? Because you are not dropping $200 a month just to figure out where to start? Are you from a non technical background, watching developers build agents and thinking to yourself, is there a way in for me too? At your workplace, are the compliance teams and security reviews blocking every one of your AI tool requests, and you need solutions that actually survive that wall? Do you want to spin up a working AI agent in under 15 minutes? Not after sitting through a 6 hours tutorial. Do you want to build multi agent systems where specialized AI agents divide a problem, collaborate, and deliver results together? And finally, my final question to you: has your organization already handed you the mandate? We need AI agents, we need automation, we need results by Q3, by Q4. And you are sitting there thinking, where do I even begin? If even one of those questions hit you, you are in exactly the right place. Because here is the reality nobody puts in the headline. 79% of companies say they are adopting AI, but only 11% have actually deployed anything in production. We are living through the most consequential technology shift since the internet. AI agents are already researching, coding, analyzing, planning, and making decisions, and that too autonomously, not in pilots, not in demos, in production. And the question is no longer whether AI will change the world. That question has been answered. The only question that matters right now: will you be a builder or a spectator? I welcome you all to the AI Playground. This is not a news channel. This is not a place where we watch someone read documentation for 45 minutes and call it a tutorial. This is a lab. We build, we experiment, we break things, and we fix them every single week. And here is what we cover. And I mean actually cover with working code, real projects, and tools you can use. We cover the top AI news for the week, as you see on the right side of your screen right now. We'll start with AI fundamentals, so the jargons stop scaring you and start making sense. We learn and explore LLMs and RAG systems, how you give AI a memory it can trust, verify, and act on. We explore the enigmatic world of agentic AI and multi agent architectures, the future or of how work actually gets done. We deep dive on LangChain, LangGraph, and Crew AI, the frameworks that serious builders are using right now. We learn and do hands on with MCP, the new standard connecting agents to the real world. All we use is free and open source tools, so your budget is never the barrier. We will also explore a lot of low code and no code options, so your background, if it is non technical, is never the barrier. We explore and learn enterprise grade design patterns, so your security team is never the barrier. Everything we do is hands on live builds, because watching someone else code is not the same as doing it yourself. Whether you are a developer, an architect, a tech leader, a consultant, a student, or someone who has simply decided that this AI wave is not going to pass them by, this channel is built for you. So, if you're done feeling overwhelmed If you are ready to stop consuming and start creating, if you want to be the person in the room who doesn't just talk about AI but actually builds with it, then hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and drop a comment right now. Tell me which of these 8 questions hit you the hardest. All right. Moving to the next slide, what we have done is we are going to cover a lot of topics this season. The season is for the agentic AI, but here is the thing: learning AI isn't about watching endless tutorials. It's about building real skills that solve real problems. That's why I have structured this journey into 6 powerful modules, taking you from AI fundamentals all the way to production grade agentic AI systems. And we start with first session of module 1 today. In module 1, we talk about the age of agentic AI, and we try to answer the why. Why is everyone suddenly talking about AI agents and agentic AI? We have seen a lot of buzzword in last 2 years especially. Is it a hype, a bubble? We'll explore the market, the opportunities, the enterprise adoption gap, and why agentic AI is becoming the next major technology wave. By the end of this module, you will understand not just what agentic AI is, but why it matters now. That will be all for module 1. Module 2, we talk about the LLMs, the brain behind the AI. Before you build any agent, you need to understand the engines that power them. We'll demystify large language models, how they reason, where they fail, hallucinations, their limitations, and how to choose the right model for the job. Because great AI systems start with understanding the brain behind the intelligence. We'll move gradually to module 3, where we talk about RAG, giving AI that real knowledge. And this is where AI becomes truly useful. You will learn RAG, the foundation behind enterprise AI applications, and we'll build a complete pipeline. And you will have your own RAG agent at your disposal. We talk about ingestion, chunking, embedding, vector database. We talk about retrieval, generation. The same architecture powering modern enterprise AI assistants. Then we gradually move to module 4, agentic AI from answers to actions. And this is where things get exciting. We'll move beyond the chatbots and prompts into autonomous AI systems. You will learn and build AI agents. You'll follow the multi agent architecture. You'll learn about agent collaboration patterns. You'll learn about planning and reasoning frameworks, real world agent design principles. Because the future of AI isn't answering questions, it's getting the work done. Then we gradually move towards module 5, and there is no theory, no fluff. We simply build. Together, we'll create rack powered AI assistants, multi agent systems, line graph workflows, MCP integrations, and end to end enterprise AI applications. You will see every step from architecture to development to deployment. And the final module, module 6, enterprise AI in the real world. What happens when AI leaves the lab and enters production? We'll break down a real world implementation from companies like Walmart, Amazon, BMW, and Sephora. You will learn enterprise AI architecture, governance and compliance, security considerations, deployment strategies, lesson learned from production systems. And the goal is very simple: help you bridge the gap between experimentation and business impact. For example, Walmart didn't just automate a task, they eliminated the human from the loop entirely. Autonomous inventory agents, combining computer vision and shelf sensors, detect a gap, trigger a restock, and close the loop. No email, no approval, no delay. The result: stockouts were brought down by 10%, 30 million logistic miles saved, and a 26% year on year EPS increase. Similarly, we learned from the case studies of Sephora on how it turned AI into a beauty consultant that never sleeps. We talk about and learn about BMW on how they put physical AI agents on a factory floor in Spartanburg, South Carolina. 10-hour shift, 11 months straight, over 90,000 components moved with 99% placement accuracy. 30,000 BMW X3s touched by agents and no hands. Isn't it amazing? We conclude module 6, talking about Amazon, who built the seller assistance on 25 years of the world's most valuable shopping data. It doesn't wait for problems, it predicts them, proactively monitors inventory, recommends markdowns before products sit too long, schedules shipments before sellers even ask. Storage costs dropped by 30%, directly, measurably, and everything attributed. So, whether you are a developer, architect, technology leader, student, or simply AI curious, this series is designed to help you go from I have heard about AI agents to I have built AI agents that solve real problems. And trust me, the best part is we are just getting started. Before we get into the details of module 1 and before we learn how to build AI agents, I'm sure everyone is very excited about it. We need to answer a more important question. Why is everyone suddenly talking about them? Just 2 years ago, most of us were amazed when AI could answer questions. Today, AI can conduct research, write code, analyze documents, use tools, collaborate with other AI agents, other systems, and in some cases, complete the entire workflows with minimal human intervention. And that's a massive shift. We have moved from AI that simply responds to AI that can reason, plan, and act. And that's exactly why the world is entering this age of agentic AI. Think about it. The internet changed how we access information. Smartphones changed how we interact with technology. Agentic AI is changing how work gets done. For the first time in history, we are creating digital workers that can perform tasks, make decisions, and assist humans at scale. And every major technology company is racing to build them. The question is no longer if AI can generate content or if AI can complete a task. The question is, can AI complete an entire job with complex workflows that involves taking decisions and executing multiple tasks? And increasingly, the answer is yes. In this module, we will uncover the market forces driving its explosive growth, the opportunities it creates for individuals and organizations, what the leaders think, and most importantly, how you can position yourself ahead of the curve. Because every major technology wave creates two groups of people: those who watch it happen and those who build the future with it. And by the end of this module, you will understand exactly why agentic AI may become one of the most transformative technologies of our lifetime, and why now is the perfect time to start learning. So let's begin. Now, look at the slide title: The Numbers That Demand Attention. Today, on AI Playground, we start with Module 1, where we are stepping into the engine room of a $236 billion agentic AI tsunami that's growing 31 times in just a decade, faster than any enterprise tech shift since the cloud, and touching every function of the modern business at once. We will trace the 50-year journey from brittle rule based systems to autonomous AI agents that set their own goals and run in real production. Then we unpack why 79% of companies are stuck in what we call pilot purgatory, while only few disciplined organizations turn this into real ROI instead of a cancelled project and budget fires. Before I say a single word about this graph or chart, just look at the curve. And believe me, this is not a prediction. This is the fastest platform shift in enterprise technology history. And it is happening right now. That number on the top right, $236 billion by 2034, comes from the research firms like International Data Corporation, IDC, and Digital Applied 2026. And these are from the reports which are from 2026. These are all Agentic AI reports. And I spent some time cross referencing them with other research analysts and agencies. And the forecast is ranging from $140 billion to $250 billion for 2034. But every single one of them points in the same direction. From $7.6 billion in 2024 on the left of your screen to $236 billion by 2034 on the right. Agentic AI is set to grow 31 times in under a decade, moving from quiet experiments to the core operating system of the enterprise. By 2028, you are either building with it or just watching from the sidelines. The compound annual growth rate, we call it CAGR, which is the speed at which a market grows every year, compounded like interest on interest. That growth rate is 40% plus every year, sustained and compounding. Think of it like interest in a savings account, except the account is doubling the size of an entire industry. Now the opportunity. Look at the bottom left green section. Like I mentioned earlier, 31 times growth in 10 years. Put that next to any asset class, any technology sector, and any investment thesis on the planet. Nothing comes close. 74% of executives report a return on investment within the first 12 months of deploying AI agent. Not over 3 years, not eventually. Year 1 we are talking about 74% ROI within year 1. And this is from, and I'm not cooking that up, just you can go ahead and look it up in the Google Cloud's own research papers. Some analysts put the CAGR to even 45%. But here is where it gets little uncomfortable. 79% of the enterprises claim they have adopted AI agents, but only 11% are running agents in true production environments. Reason? They are held back by gaps in governance, security, observability, and the inability to measure ROI. That means 7 out of every 8 enterprises are running pilots, not pipelines. They are running experiments, not outcomes. 40% of agentic AI projects will be cancelled by 2027. This is a direct quote from Gartner's June edition and the 2025 press release. Cancelled due to escalating costs, unclear business value, or maybe inadequate risk controls. And only 1 in 5 enterprises have safe governance in place for their AI agents, which means the other 4 are flying blind. So if 1 in 5 enterprise are the only ones who are able to deliver it, all the remaining 4 are flying in blind, right? With autonomous systems making real decisions right now today. So just look at the fact, 1 in 5 enterprise, only they have that capability right now. So let me be direct about what these numbers actually mean. I don't want to bore you with the numbers. The opportunity is real, verified, and enormous. The risk is also real, verified, and enormous. The organizations that will capture this $236 billion market are not the ones who moved fastest. They are the ones who moved with discipline, choosing the right use cases, building the right infrastructure, and measuring the right outcomes. Okay, let me take a pause and address something because I know some of you are thinking it. Maybe you have heard it from a colleague in a meeting. Maybe you have read it in a LinkedIn post. Maybe, honestly, you might have thought it yourself. Is this all just hype? Is AI a bubble? Are we living through the next dot-com crash just with a better marketing? And look, I respect these questions. I genuinely do. Because the people asking it aren't stupid. They have watched crypto explode and collapse. They've watched the metaverse get $1 trillion of investment and then get quietly buried. They have seen enough hype cycles to be suspicious of anything that moves this fast. That suspicion, it's healthy, it's rational, it's exactly the right instinct, I would say. But here is where I'm going to push back hard. Because there is a difference between asking a smart question and asking the wrong question. And is AI a bubble as a yes or no answer? This is the wrong question. And here is the right question. We should ask which parts of AI are real and which parts are hype. Because bubbles and revolutions are not opposites. They happen at the same time. I'll take example. In 1999, yes, there was a dot-com bubble. Hundreds of companies with no revenue and no product became billion-dollar valuations overnight. And the bubble burst. And it was brutal. But Amazon survived. Google survived. The internet, that underlying technology, didn't it just survive? And in fact, it became the foundation of the entire modern economy. The bubble was real, but so was the revolution. So when someone says AI is a bubble, I don't argue. I say you might be right about some of it. The valuations on some AI companies probably stressed. The number of AI powered products that are just a chat GPT wrapper with a $99 monthly subscription. Absolutely a bubble. But the underlying technology, the agents that are running in production at Walmart, BMW, Amazon right now, that is not a bubble. That is infrastructure. And but don't take my words for it. I don't want you to take anyone's word for it. I want you to look at the evidence because I have spent last few days going through what the people who actually have skin in the game are saying. And believe me, not the Twitter commentators, not the newsletter writers, not the people who get paid to have opinions, the people who are deploying billions of dollars of capital and whose careers, companies, and reputations are directly on the line if they get this wrong. And what they are saying is remarkable. So before you get overwhelmed with the numbers, let me show you something more powerful than data. Let me show you conviction from the people who cannot afford to be wrong. Take a look at this. And out of these gentlemen, I'll talk about three gentlemen, just three. Combined net worth over $150 billion. Combined companies worth over $15 trillion. And all three of them said the exact same thing in the exact same year. Now, when the CEO of Nvidia, the CEO of Microsoft, and the CEO of Google DeepMind all point in the same direction at the same time, that's not a trend. That's a signal. And let me tell you what they actually said. And I want you to pay attention because hidden inside these three quotes is a blueprint for exactly where the next decade of technology is going. Jensen Huang, CEO of Nvidia, the man who built the engine that powers almost every serious AI system on the planet. At GTC 2026, he said, agentic systems are the next version of the computer. Now just think about that. Not a new app, not a new feature, not a new model. The next version of the computer. The last time someone said something like that, Steve Jobs was holding up a phone that had no keyboard. And everyone laughed. Nobody's laughing now. And Jensen went further. He said, every software company needs an agentic strategy. The same way every company once needed a web strategy, a cloud strategy, a mobile strategy. The companies that missed those waves, most of them don't even exist anymore. Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, the man who turned Microsoft from a company people were writing obituaries for into the most valuable company on the planet. At Microsoft Build 2026, he said, "We are entering a new era where AI agents, not operating systems, not apps, AI agents become the primary interface." I'll read that again slowly. We are entering a new era where AI agents, not operating system, not apps, become the primary interface. The agent. For 40 years, the interface between human and computers was a screen, a keyboard, and a mouse. Then it was a touch. Then it was a voice. Satya is saying the next one is the agent. The thing that doesn't wait for you to click. The thing that understands your goal, picks its own tools, and goes and gets it done. Microsoft isn't betting on this. They have already shipped it. Copilot, Azure AI Foundry, Work IQ, APIs, and whatnot. They are not preparing for this future. They are building it right now. Demis Hassab, CEO of Google DeepMind, Nobel Prize winner, one of the most respected scientific minds alive. At Google I/O 2026, he said something that almost, stopped the entire room. We are standing in the foothills of the singularity. Now, I'm not sure if you've read about Demis, but Demis is not a hype man. He's not a salesperson. He's arguably the most rigorous, most careful, most scientifically grounded voice in the entire AI field. And he said, foothills of the singularity. That means the climb hasn't even started yet. He went on to say that autonomous agents that reason, act, and orchestrate workflows with minimal human input will be the most profound and impactful technology ever invented. Ever. Not this decade, not this century. He said ever invented. So let's take a step back for a second. Jensen said the next version of the computer, Satya saying agent replace apps as the primary interface. Dem is saying that we are just at the foothills of the singularity. Three of the most credible, most technically literate, most consequential people in technology, and one unified conviction. This is what an inflection point looks like. Not in hindsight, not in a history book 10 years from now. Right now, in real time, while we are discussing about AI agents and agentic AI. The question every IT professional, every developer, every technology leader watching this needs to answer is simple. Are you going to be the person who understands this moment and build something? Or are you going to be the person who watches the replays? I know what you're thinking. When do we actually build something, right? Soon. I promise, very soon. But the builders who skip the foundations, they hit a wall 6 weeks in and have no idea why. We need to cover two more sessions on the why, and then we open the terminal and we don't stop. And let's keep going for the next topic for the module 1. 5 decades to the moment. This is something, this is kind of a foundation. 50 years. And that's how long this has been building. And most people think AI started with ChatGPT. They are about to be very surprised. Those who think that AI was all about is what started from ChatGPT. Here is what nobody talks to you about the AI revolution. It didn't start in 2022. It didn't start in 2016. It didn't even start in 2010. It started 50 years ago. in university labs on machines the size of rooms, running on logic so brittle that if you ask the wrong question, the whole system crashed. And everything happening right now, the agents, the autonomous systems, the tools that are replacing entire job functions, none of it is a surprise. It was always going to end up here. The question is, do you understand the journey well enough to know what comes next? Because I'm about to show you the whole map. 5 eras, 50 years in about less than 4 minutes. So let's go. Let's talk about era 1, the reactive age from 70s to 90s. Imagine you are a factory engineer, let's say in 1975, and you have just installed the most advanced AI system of that time, which money can buy. It can detect when a machine is about to fail. That's it. That's all it can do. It can see the problem, it can fix the problem, it can adapt. It cannot adapt to the problem. It cannot learn from the problem. It cannot fix the problem. If the word changed, and the word always changes, the system broke. Someone had to come in, rewrite the rules by hand, and start all over again. Brilliant for its time, completely useless in the real world. That was era 1. Era 2, the rule based era, 90s to 2010. Now we are getting a little smarter. Systems could automate entire workflows, not just flag problems, actually do things, handle routine tasks, process data at scale. Big data arrived, and suddenly we had something to actually learn from. But, and this is important, there was always a ceiling. A human always had to be in the loop. The moment something unexpected happened, something the rules hadn't anticipated, the system stopped. It kind of raised its hands. It waited. Powerful, but still fundamentally reactive, still waiting for instructions. Now let's come to era 3, the machine learning explosion from 2010 to 2016. And this is where I want you to lean in, because this is the era where the rules disappeared. GPUs, the same chips designed for video games, turned out to be the perfect for training neural networks at scale. And everything changed. AI stopped following rules, it started learning them. For the first time, you could show a machine a million images of cats and it would figure out what a cat looked like on its own. No programmer, no rule book, no explicit instructions. It beat the world champion at Go, a game so complex that experts said a machine could never win 20 years before anyone expected it to. It recognized faces, translated languages, diagnosed disease from scans. Era 3 was a moment where, you know, AI stopped being predictable and started being genuinely surprising. And then comes era 4, the cognitive AI era, 2016 to 2021. And I will simply use one word: transformers. And not the movies, the architecture. In 2017, a team at Google published a paper called Attention is All You Need. Nobody outside of machine learning world noticed. And bam, 5 years later, it had rewritten the entire industry. Transformers gave us GPT, Bird, Claude, Gemini, large language models that could generate text, write code, summarize documents, answer questions, explain concepts at a level that passed the bar exam, that passed the medical licensing test, that scored in the 90th percentile on the SAT. Hundreds of millions of people started using these tools every single day. The AI copilot era had begun. But here is the thing: a copilot still needs a pilot. Era 1 through era 4, 50 years of progress. And in every single era, AI was still fundamentally waiting for you to ask a question, waiting for you to click a button, and waiting for instructions. And here comes era 5, the birth of agentic AI, 2022 to right now. ChatGPT launched in November 2022. 100 million users in 2 months. Can you believe it? The fastest consumer technology adoption in human history. Everyone thought that was the revolution. And believe me, it wasn't. That was just the trailer. Here is what actually is happening in 2026. And I mean right now, this week, as you watch this. Microsoft just announced its Work IQ APIs, launching June 16th, a semantic intelligence layer that gives AI agents full context across your emails, calendars, meeting files, and even the organization data. And the best part is, it uses 80% fewer tokens and has twice the speed of processing. Hundreds of tool calls collapsed into just 10. And how they're doing it? Via MCP. Gartner predicts that by 2028, that's 2 years from now, 80% of customer facing processes will be handled by multi agent AI. Not assisted by AI, just note that. Not supported by AI, handled by AI. BMW Ventures just launched a $300 million fund targeting agentic AI startups last month alone. Total AI capital under management $1.1 billion. And BMW is not a tech company. They make cars. When car companies are betting $1.1 billion on AI agents, you have to pay attention. And here is the number that should stop you cold. Agentic AI systems are now running in production at thousands of companies. Not demos, not pilots, not proof of concepts, production. So 50 years, 5 eras, each one building on the last. But era 5 is different from every single era that came before it. Because for the first time in the entire history of computing, the software doesn't wait for instructions. It sets its own goal, it calls its own tools, it fixes its own mistakes, it coordinates with other agents, it delivers while you sleep. The question is not whether agentic AI is real. You have just seen 50 years of evidence that it was always going to be real. The only question that matters right now is whether you are building with it or watching someone else do it. Now, I would like to end today's session here with a lot of things, which I want you guys to go back, contemplate, think about it. But before we end this session, I need to tell you what's coming next. Because if you think today was interesting, you haven't seen anything yet. Next session, we meet the most brilliant mind ever created. A mind that passed the bar exam, passed the medical licensing tests, it writes code, translates language, explains quantum physics on demand in seconds. And then I'm going to show you something about that mind that will make you never trust it again. It lies confidently, fluently, convincingly. And it has absolutely no idea it is doing it. If it is lying, then it will be more confident. The good part is there is a fix. And once you see how the fix works, once you understand the architecture from the inside, we build it live on screen from a blank terminal. We'll build a fully working RAG AI assistant powered by your own documents, and we'll use multiple sources. It will generate real answers with no hallucinations. The moment the AI stops guessing and starts knowing, you're going to see it and build it yourself in real time. So, if you are ready to stop consuming and start creating, if you want to be the person in the room who doesn't just talk about AI but actually builds with it, then hit subscribe, turn on the bell icon, and share with someone who you think deserves to learn with you. Stay curious, stay disciplined, keep building. See you in the next one. Until then, goodbye. Thank you.